today I'm going to do kind of like a travel how to store your makeup. I usually store my makeup in my room, but this is going to be like a travel edition for your car. It's not really a collection video, it's just how I do it. You guys can use this idea because it would have really helped me if someone else posted this. If this is going to upset you, if this is something that you guys don't want to see, don't watch it. This is just for you guys to benefit you. So if this is going to upset you, just don't watch it. I'll show you guys how I store it, and I love you all. Bye-bye. Alright, so everyone, before I start, let me just say I'm sorry if it's a little bit shaky. Also, again, it's not really a collection video. I guess maybe it is. I'll do a collection video separately, but it's basically organization because this is how I do it. Also, this is not on-the-go organization for a plane. If you guys are going to go on a plane, you need to make sure you wrap everything individually in like socks or tissue paper. Otherwise, the powders will like poof and disintegrate. So this is how I do it in the car if I'm going to a fashion show, if I'm going to a sleepover at a friend's house, you know, if I'm just kind of going around crazy. This is kind of how I store my makeup. So this is to help you guys if you're ever in the car, if you're a traveling makeup artist, if you're just doing it for fun. This is how I do it. This is how you can do it. Just don't do it like this on a plane. This is a MAC train case that I got. It's the MAC Zuka train case. You do not have to be a MAC Pro to get it. Everyone thinks that you do. You don't. You call them on the phone. I will post the number like in the bottom tab. You do not need to be a pro. So you don't get the discount, but you can still buy it. And also it has this thing, so it comes up. So you can seriously take it around and roll it on its wheel. The other cool thing is that the wheels light up. And then there's two wheels on them so that they can go up and down stairs. First off, on the side, this is just kind of some rubbing alcohol and some makeup palettes. There's a couple MAC ones in there, a couple, what is this, Coastal Scents, Makeup Forever. And, you know, I basically just kind of stored them in here because they had nowhere else to go. There's also some rubbing alcohol for sanitization of brushes. You can, you know, do a lot of different things with rubbing alcohol. So I make sure that it goes in there. And it's just in a Ziploc bag so that everything stays in. It's just a random little palette thing that I got. It's really, really cheap, really, really old, but hey, it still has a use. And it comes with a case that goes over it, and I'll have to show you guys that later. But the case just goes over it. It's a waterproof case, so that way your stuff doesn't get wet. So basically it says MAC on the front. You basically unhook it. This is where I kind of keep basically my eye stuff. And there's some lip stuff in here too. I'll start out on the first pocket. It's the outermost one. In here I have some makeup sanitizer. You spray this on your makeup once you're done using it, so that way it kills all the bacteria. I have some makeup spongy things. This is a sanitization spray for your face. There is a little bit left of MAC brush cleaner. This is a bottle cap if I'm ever like pressing powders or pigments on the go. Oh yeah, usually some mixing medium goes in here. So that way I can kind of press pigments into some of the palettes in the side here. And right up before it is this first one. Also this is like a little spatula. This is also for, you know, mixing things like that if you're gonna, you know, put it into if you're gonna create your own eyeshadow and put it into a palette. That's what this is for, is just mixing that. I also have some, you know, disposable cotton swabs, disposable little mascara wands. Lots of my friends like to come in and, you know, play with makeup, which I don't blame them, but so just don't use my mascara brushes, so I have them dip these in instead. There's also little lip brushes, stuff like that. And if I want to do friends' makeup, like, you know, for fun, I want to make sure it's sanitary. I also have some, you know, CVS cotton swabs and some oil blotting paper. In here I have a couple different makeup removers. There's a Clinique one. There's a hand sanitizer, some alcohol swabs. It's just like a Bath & Body Works little hand sanitizer. There's a Makeup Forever one in there. There's a little trial size. So that's basically to remove makeup or to clean your hands. Shove it all back in there. There we go. And then it comes with these. These are like little stooly things. I was trying to put a couple different lip glosses in there, but they didn't really fit. As you can see, it's not super organized. But up here at the very top, there's like this mesh area that you can put stuff in. Usually these go up there, but I was too lazy. These are just some Coastal Scents palettes, things like that I use all the time. Then I have all these little plastic baggy things. And in the very back are these two. I got these at the dollar store. They're just basically zipper pencil cases. When I keep lip liners, and then in this smaller one I keep eyeliners. And kind of up towards the front I have a ton of Ziploc baggies. Some are medium, some are big, some are small. But basically those kind of go right in there. And as you can see, this is really dirty, but it's really easy to clean, so that's okay. The first thing that goes on the bottom These are like mismatched eyeshadows. These are Beauty Rush. These are, you know, Benefit, Urban Decay, things like that that, you know, don't really have a place that belong in the MAC or the NARS places. Then I have different mascaras. These are like my special ones, you know, Bobbi Brown, Dior, MAC, things like that. Again, this isn't a collection video, so I'm not really going to go through it. And then I have another bag of just drugstore mascaras. And then I have my brow stuff. There's clear brow gel, highlights, brow tints, things like that. I also have like primers and wrinkle fixers. There's a wrinkle fixer there, a Dior primer. This is an acne buster, so that works really well. Liquid liners. You know, basically any brand of liquid liner would go in here, whether it's Dior, Chanel, what is this? Urban Decay. Then in the back here, there's kind of some Tupperware that I stacked. You can get these at Long, CVS, Walmart, you name it. But these are just like, you know, little food stackers. In the first one, I have all of my paint pots from MAC. Second one is kind of duo shadows, some of the limited edition ones from MAC. And the very third one is lip stuff. It's just, the Sugar Rose kind of basically tinted moisturizing sunscreen lip stuff. There's some in there from MAC, basically just a cute little way to keep them all. Behind that are these other Tupperware things that kind of stack. Little box actually used to contain a wallet from Nautica, but what I did, I took the wallet out and I can kind of store different eyeshadows in here. So these are some of the NARS ones, and then I have some of the duos, like the Misfit one. This back here is like a NARS cream one. And there's a MAC kind of tester of a pigment, and there's also a little Bobbi Brown one back there. I put it all in this little bag so that it, you know, keeps safe. Actually a tooth whitening kit, but it had a little mirror in there, so I thought that that was perfect. This is where I keep kind of really special eyeshadows, like, you know, Givenchy, YSL, Chanel, and then a couple of the Dior ones. And this Tupperware, this is more eyelashes, mascaras, kind of tools, makeup tools basically. There's a couple sharpening things. There's one of my Tweezerman tweezers. There's a couple eyelash curlers. And there's primers. These are kind of different eye primers. I have this NYX, but I use it as a primer, so it goes in here. Too Faced Shadow Insurance, Urban Decay, basically just little things. There's a Smashbox, I think. The very last one of these Tupperwares is lip balms. These are tinted and some of them are just moisturizers. Like these two are like Wet n Wild or Maybelline. Those are tinted, same with the NARS one. But you know, some of the other ones are just like, you know, menthol minty stuff or Burt's Bees. And then all of these different things sit on top of these. So in those 4 little Tupperwares, this is kind of like what I keep. These are basically just the, you know, Makeup Forever Professional kind of eyeshadows that I haven't yet put into palettes. I just kind of keep those there. These are also, these are like the little, what do you call them, the little pots from MAC, the fluid lines. And the reason that I keep them upside down is so that I can kind of see, you know, what they say. So that way, you know, when I'm looking at the tops, you know, it's not as confusing. And down here are basically shade sticks. These are all sorts of shade sticks from MAC, and I just keep them, you know, they all face the same direction so that when they're there you can just kind of pick them up and see them. The very last thing, these are lip plumpers and primers. I have 2 of the Doo-Wop primers, a lot of the Doo-Wop lip venom, stuff like that. There is a little bit of the, what's it called, Injection Too Faced. Basically lip primers and plumpers. So, it's pretty simple. You just go get Tupperware from the stores, you go get plastic bags, and then you can, you know, invest in some sort of case. And the great thing is that I can empty this out with all my makeup. I can put, you know, sleepover stuff in there. So this is kind of the second bag of makeup-like stuff, and basically it's just a regular suitcase. Just keep kind of makeup containers. These are like empty little shampoo bottles. This very outer pocket, it used to be all organized, but now it is just completely boom. So in here there is a bottle of Fix Plus, just Max Fix Plus, and then this is where I used to keep all my Dazzle glasses, but as you can see they're now like messed up. These are just some random brushes, really no-name brushes. All my brushes I keep in another bag, so I'm not really going to go through those. This was actually a shoebox, and oopsies, what I did is that they were the perfect size for Dazzle glasses. So there's the Dazzle glasses. So these used to be all in color coordinated order. As you can see, they are not anymore. But these are the Dazzle glasses, and basically what I would do, they're like a string right here, and you would tie it to the amount that it fits. Because this shoebox top fit the Dazzle glasses perfectly, I would just put them in there and line them up, but then it was too big for the actual shoebox, that's where it should end. So what I did, I took another one and cut them in half. So now it's like if I'm carrying, you know, less Dazzle glasses, let's say we take 2 out, you know, it would be too big. So what I can do, you can just slide it in like that. So it's pretty innovative. You know, there's for wider, and if you get more, basically you can just stick them in and then loosen the string. They would all stand like this. And this little string would kind of hold them in so that way they wouldn't, you know, flop all over the place. But then the second that I put them in here, you know, they all go like that. Kind of like stuff I didn't know where to put it, so I put it up here. This is another shoebox top that I kind of keep everything in. The first one has palettes. There's an NYX, there's an Urban Decay, and then there's two more Urban Decay palettes that are kind of stacked on top of each other right here. A Laura Mercier, this kind of thing. These are kind of like kits. These are all just eyeshadows, and then these are other kits. These have like eyes and brows, you know, a Benefit thing. The first thing, this is actually a drawer that goes into kind of like a shelf. These used to be all organized, but now as you can see, they're kind of like falling apart. But these are where I lined up all of the L'Oreal Hip Duos. They're all kind of in order to color, and thank goodness they stayed that way, but that's what those are. These are all Maybelline quads. Basically, these are all like the color ones, and these are all like the neutral ones. Things from the dollar store. There are Revlon, there's some Maybelline ones, there's a L'Oreal one, and then back here there's two of the LA Color palettes that they just kind of sit on top of each other. Then there's also some more Revlon. I'm sorry, not Revlon, but Rimmel stuff. Zucca cases, so it's to organize your makeup, but what I did, I put them in here because they didn't all fit in there. The first one that I have is blush. You know, in there, I mean, there's everything from MAC to, I mean, I don't know, NARS, there's Benefit, there's a Benefit boxed powder that belongs right here. So that's where it usually goes, it's the Hoola bronzer. And up here, you know, there's just some simple drugstore stuff. These are, you know, Bare Essentials, one of them's broken, kind of like the warmth, things like that. So this side would be contouring, and then this is a NARS highlighting powder. This side is for highlighting. The next thing is MAC eyeshadows, and I like to separate these from other ones because, I don't know, I feel like it's easier to find them if I'm looking for a certain color. These up here are basically just different eyeshadows. They used to be kind of in order, but they're not anymore. And then if we scoop them out, so basically this is like a plastic bag. Underneath this bag is where I keep all the pigments. There's some mini ones from holiday collections that kind of go up around the top, and then some of them are right there. And then the rest are basically kind of in order. For lipsticks, and it's the last of the Zucca bags. Here, of course, they used to be in order, but they're not anymore. These are MAC lipsticks, so another Nautica thing. It's just a wallet. And there I keep a Chanel, Clinique, Dior, and it's all in a little bag, so it kind of separates them. And then that usually goes on top, kind of makeup fixer. These are just bags that I got from the dollar store, or was it Target? I can't really remember. But in these two, I keep foundations and powder foundations. There's a couple different primers. There's a little bit of primers in the corner, a couple concealers down here. Basically just your liquid foundation. There's a couple of compacts in the top that I couldn't zip up. Yeah. Basically different things. There's a quad, I mean color correctors and primers basically. Anything liquid and stick goes in here. Then I haven't put all of the things in there yet because I don't fit powders. There's some Makeup Forever setting powders, things like that. A couple Clinique powders. Most of it is actually Bare Essentials because I had so many problems getting my shade, things like that. Anything powder foundation goes in there. Two of the leg makeups. So I just keep this kind of laying there on the side. Again, I utilized a shoebox with a bunch of plastic bags in it. And I separated out my lip glosses into different bags. First one, these are Victoria's Secret Beauty Rush lip balms in pink shades. Then the next one is the Victoria's Secret Beauty Rush lip balms in like, you know, holiday shades, limited edition, purples, things like that. Next one is kind of splitting open, but these are all the Lip Luscious Bath & Body Works ones. Those are every shade. Next ones are also from Bath & Body Works. These are the CO By Glow. This is the completely random bag. And here are lip balm. And then the very last one is MAC, and these are not Dazzle glasses, but these would be like lip lusters, lip glasses, some of the little mini holiday ones. But those all go in here. And I try to keep them all the same, but it's very, very difficult. So I really hope that this helps you guys out. I know that if someone would have posted this for me, it's taken me probably a year to get this all figured out, like how to situate it, how to organize it all. I hope that that all helps you. I hope that you guys can utilize shoe boxes to your advantage. But that's what I do, and like I said, I'll post tabs. If anybody ever has questions, feel free to post them below, and I will do my best to answer every single one of them. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to post your comments. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye!